Good evening, everybody. My name is Dave Juskow, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show with me and Mike Suarez. Uh, Unfortunately, I am here at my home again. We were supposed to be in studio today. Mike is actually in the studio today without me because, yeah, there he is. See, he's in the fun studio, and I planned on being there. You have a mustache?
What?
I
I've
can't
always had
tell.
facial hair.
You look funny behind that. You look like
It looks
Kilroy.
weird. Yeah, right.
But yeah, we were supposed to be in studio today, and I got a little sick, so I didn't go to work or go to. I thought for sure I could still go to the studio, but and it's all my fault. This happens to me. I think you'll find that every Oliver Hardy, Scruffy. Um, I think you'll find that every August 15th, I'm probably sick because I spend 4 or 5 days partying for my birthday, and it takes its toll, and that's how your immune system gets down. And I wasn't sleeping at all. So what did I do on Thursday? I think
Heroin and
no, I stopped doing that when I became 53. Um, Wait, what did I do on Thursday? No, I don't. Oh, I have it written down. Oh,
Dave
that's
gave me a
right.
memento.
I went out drinking in the daytime with my friend Hannah. Mike, I went to McSorley's Ale House. Obviously, you'll be able to hear about this on the podcast this weekend. That's right. Just Gadan went a little too far this week. And Mike, I went to McSorley's Ale House. Have you ever been there?
That doesn't even sound like a real place.
Well, it might be the oldest bar in Manhattan, but I don't think it is. But it's been around for about 150 years. It's on 7th Street and 3rd Avenue. And
Okay.
so my friend Hannah was in town, and we hung out and did a little day drinking. And we were walking by it, and we were going to go to the Bowery Bar. And then I'm like, hey, I wonder if McSorley's is open. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's like really off the beaten path on 7th Street. Nobody knows what that street is. It's really, yeah, it's for old drunks. So, and not just old drunks, like new ones too, because the last time I was there was 1985. So I said to my friend, I said, oh, this will be great because I think they allow women in now. So she thought I was kidding, and I'm like, no, I swear they didn't let women in until recently. And she's like, what are you talking about? So we went in and we talked to the bartender, and she told us that they let women in since 1970. And then I said, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. And then she said, but we didn't install a women's bathroom until 1986. So when I was there in 1985, I guess that's what's resonated. But that's why I never went back, because I am not secure enough as a man to go to the bathroom with the ladies. So I think I never went back. But this place is hilarious if you ever go. So Mike, you basically just have a choice of their own beer,
Mm-hmm.
McSorley's Ale, and it's either you want light or dark. And the dark is really great. I had the dark, and they give you two small mugs, but they
And the
give you
light is
two.
just the dark that's been left out in the sun.
The what?
The light is just the dark that's been left out in the sun.
Probably that kind of place, right?
It's expired
No, but it's
dark.
like classic, and they give you two small mugs instead of like one mug, so it's kind of cool. It is rather charming. So, also, again, you can hear about this on Just Get on the City. Explain the whole thing, and uh,
Oh, it
so
doesn't.
the bartender was talking to, and it was a woman. And I said, "Well, what are you doing? When did they allow you in?" And she goes, "Oh, actually, I'm the first woman they ever had work here, and I've been here 29 years." So it's really funny that they got a lot of shit for not letting women in, and then finally in 1970, they're like, "Fine," like they were going to get sued back then. People were still like
Now
it,
we all gotta wear trousers.
and right, right. And the thing is, they were like, I don't know why women would want to go in there anyway, because like I said, there's only two beer choices. I don't even know if they serve wine. And the food is a sleeve of saltine crackers and cheese and onions. Hi, Cammy.
Wait,
And
what do you
that's
mean
the
cheese
whole
and
thing.
onions?
I mean, it's really It's really fun. Marcy, yeah, I would say I would take you there when you come to town, but I'm not going to take you there. It's not it's not worth it. I'm going to take my nephew there when he turns 21 because my friend Ron did that for his son when he turned 21 because Ron was the guy that took me there. And he sent a picture. You'll be able to see pictures of it in the bonus show this week if you are a Patreon subscriber and just get out the city.
Here's another family enjoying that. Or
The what?
Here's a family enjoying this together.
Yes, nice white Irish people, clearly. Classic Jew haters. You can't tell that the mugs are tiny. They're half-size mugs.
Because those people are tiny people as well.
Yeah, and of course a picture of JFK on the back. Of course, there's a picture of JFK there.
It's JFK and James Joyce. That's all it is.
Exactly right. Dubliners. There's it was really funny, and it was fun to be there. And there's sawdust on the floor, and my friend put her umbrella there, and she's like, "You didn't tell me there was sawdust on the floor." I'm like, I forgot to tell you there's sawdust on the floor. Sawdust has been there since the day I got there. It's one of those places. It's kind of funny. I went to that place and Molly's on Friday. So I did all my Irish bars this week. Yeah, JWB6701. Don't you live in Hawaii, right? Yipes. That's a nightmare. That's sorry about that. That's some major that's when you know things are just if shit goes down in Hawaii, then it's kind of over. I mean, now it's hit really everywhere with the grease fires and then Hawaii on fire. You just expect that place to be flooded or a tsunami. Who's expecting fires? It's really weird. Mm-hmm. Anyway, again, so I went out Thursday. I went out Friday till about 4 a.m. I had to wake up for work early. I didn't go out Saturday because I took a break. Sunday, Dave Attell, Jeff Ross, Nick Griffin, and Russ Maneve took me out for a nice steak dinner. So then I got home at like midnight again, and then had to wake up early. And then last night we had the show at the Comedy Cellar. It was terrific. It was really long though, but it was super fun. And again, this is a show to promote the Comedy Cellar and how great it is. I don't mind telling you that for $14, those people had a blast. It was a major quality show. Hi, Catalina. And, it was really a good quality show for money. 2 hours long, $14. And Jeff came on later, and then Godfrey. $14. Oh, wow. I mean, and Mike, do you know Maddie Weiner?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I just met her for the first time. She's terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I really like her. They're going crazy on her. They're giving her like a ton of spots. They're giving her the Michelle Wolf treatment right now. You know, nice. But she killed it. Yeah. Sorry, Marcy. Yeah, my voice is a little because this is what I do. I every year I'm sick towards the end of August or the middle of August just for everything. But I really do believe if I think I'm not going to keep this show. Mike's got to go anyway at 6:50, so perfect day for that. In fact, I probably would have been upset if I'd come all the way down there and then we had a shorter show. But yeah. Yeah, Catalina already started school, which always freaks me out. My friend who lives in Florida, her kids just started school. In Florida, they start school in August, like around my, if I'd gone to school in Florida, I might have been a normal person. I was always very upset that we were never in school when my birthday was around. And, you don't get to celebrate your friends don't get to tell you happy birthday, I think. And as you know, everyone's gone on my birthday. Like everybody's on vacation. Nobody's ever around. It's been my whole life. But the people that do stay, it's always fun to party with. And we had a really good time at, at least the steak place. And then last night was super fun. And it was an excellent birthday show. My sister came, my brother-in-law, and my niece. And Alon was there. Paul Lauren, for those of you who listen to Billy Joel A to Z. Plus, we've had some guy, Mike, has been tweeting. He's like crazy and saying that we've been plagiarizing his site for Billy Joel A to Z. And he's going insane on like the Billy Joel Facebook pages, and Alon's freaking out. And I'm like, dude, it's a Billy Joel. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I mean,
Who
yeah,
is it?
sometimes
Billy Joel?
what?
Who is it? Billy Joel?
Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be great if it was? No, it's funny because the site we were using, I've been trying to get in touch with this guy. There was no way to get in touch with him, and now he's getting upset. And sometimes maybe I'll take a sentence or two from him, but I take it from lots of places because I don't care, and I can't imagine anyone else does.
Well, you're just citing the information, right?
Right, but he's mad that we haven't mentioned the site. So we don't mind mentioning the site. It's actually no, I'm not going to mention it. How about that, fucking jerk off?
Well, I mean, you already used his stuff. You probably should.
I'm not going to mention it here.
Oh, true.
I'll mention it on Billy Joel A to Z.
Makes sense.
The way the guy's handling it is uncool. Like if he had just like said, "Hey, I see you're using my stuff," why don't you? But he's been like going crazy. Like he's obviously mentally ill.
Yeah. Well, he had to be a big shot.
So Elon's like, you got to write him back. And I go, and I wrote him back and I said, hey, we really like your site. I do take stuff from your site. I also take it from a lot of other sources.
Yeah. And then he told him, you ought to know by now.
Yeah. Mike's on fire today. I'm sorry, my nose is running. Which is good because yesterday or 2 days ago, I had a sore throat, and now the nose is running, which means it's a quick cold, and it'll be over soon. So it's great. Anyway, on Friday, I'm going to see, a week late, Back to the Future, the musical. Very excited. Catalina or Marcy, if you want to come to town, I might have an extra ticket.
Wait, really? For Friday?
What?
Really?
Maybe.
Oh.
And oh right, yeah. Well, and it's so funny that, again, if you listen to the podcast, Mike, I took out this girl on Tuesday, and as it turns out, to make a long story short, we figured out that she saw, when you look up Dave Juskow net worth online, I'm worth $1.4 million. So when the bill came, she was just sitting there like this. And I was like, what's going on? And then my friend goes, oh, that might be my fault. I kind of showed all the girls at the comedy club that you were worth all this money. And then they were like, wait a minute, doesn't he have a day job? And they're like, yeah, but only because he needs structure in his life. Like, he was trying to help me out, and it was really funny. And so yesterday I was telling some people at work, and it went down to $800,000, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what caused it to go. They must have seen that I picked up a check, and I don't know who runs that or what it is, but it went down. But it's back up to 1.4 today. I'm very happy about it. It's like, obviously, I don't know who runs it, and as I was saying in the podcast, you have to be at least a D, E, or F celebrity for it to happen. But it's funny when it goes down to under $1 million. Like, why? Why that day? Like, who's keeping track of that? Anyway, yeah, that Patreon money, right? What's am I right?
Am I right?
Oh, am I right? Right. Mike, you opened for Steve Byrne, right, this weekend?
I did some guest spots on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm friends with his usual opener, Joel Osborne, but he lives in Australia. But when he's in town, he usually opens for Steve Byrne.
Yeah.
This guy is terrific. I mean, we could probably get him on the show, like virtually, because he's really cool. We had him on the Billy Joel podcast because he's a big fan. And he is, I don't know if you saw that documentary on The Amazing Jonathan, but he's all over that. They were like best friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They made two documentaries that were competing.
Yeah, right. So he's in one where, this guy just took him when he was 15. He took him from Australia, and his mom let him travel with The Amazing Jonathan. Like, nowadays, I don't think a mom would let somebody do that, but no, they remained friends all that time. It was really cool. And he was like his manager for a while, setting up stuff. Meanwhile, after the show was over last night, it was just me and Godfrey and Matt Richards.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl Stephanie, who was supposed to be on the show today. She's really pretty and nice and a good photographer. And we were going to have her on the show today, but then I didn't come in. and Matt Richards was doing magic for us, and it was fantastic. Have you ever seen him do magic?
Yeah, he does great close-up magic.
It was fantastic, like really fantastic. Like, I mean, obviously Godfrey was going to be like, whoa, how black guys get overly, crazy. That's the only place you can say that. With the Cellar, with Jeff was on. He goes, Dave, am I the last person? I'm like, no, we have a black comic after because we had no choice. We'll get in trouble if we don't put something like that. It's like,
yeah.
But the comics get it. Anyway, what's going on, Catalina? Why are you crying? Nobody wants to see Catalina cry. Oh God, Ange, I got to see that Nick Griffin special. Came out August 8th. I got to see that. I just had dinner with him, and I got to see him. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Nick Griffin special is great. There's a lot of like low key specials that don't have a million views. It should. And his is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I got to see that, and I got to see Mark Norman's, which would be nice, right? Because he's so nice to me.
Yeah, that one's on Netflix though. So that one.
You know what? I don't even know whether I have Netflix anymore. I was using a different credit card. Yeah. I knew it was going to be about the university. Catalina, you got to relax, man. You're gonna stress out. You're too young. I bet you've been getting like stomach aches and neck aches. My friend Joe's kid's been getting that because she's your age, and she was she still got another year of college left at was Villanova, and she was working over the summer. Like she was working and coming into the city every day, and it started to stress her out. They had to come over here and get massages on Thursday because I'm the only person that lives in Manhattan, so they came over because she's totally stressed out. Catalina, you're going to stress yourself out. College is stupid, and you're going to be fine. As far as I know, Catalina is also a teaching assistant, so that means she's got to be really smart and really good. You got to relax. Catalina, you got to take Juska Dan, and you got to apply it to yourself. Catalina Dan. Catalina all day, all night. And you gotta pull a Damone and just be like, hey, I'm doing really good. I gotta relax.
And then don't pay for an abortion.
Right. And pay for that abortion though. Don't be rude. I mean, don't just say you're gonna do it and not show up. But well, Catalina, yeah, see, but you're
Catadan.
Catadan, yeah. Yeah. You think about it, Catalina. I mean, I'll call you this week and we'll talk a little bit or something. I'll talk you down a little bit, but it's just school, and it seems like you for the past 2 years you've showed me pictures where you're teaching the class. I don't think they do that for everybody. I don't think they give everybody a turn. So you're obviously extremely bright, and everything is going to work out. You got to relax, because let me tell you something, Catalina. If you're stressed about school, wait till you see what happens when you're out in the actual world. I mean, and it's not just school anymore. So I'll definitely give you partying pointers. If you're going to party 4 days in a row, just make sure there's one day where you're going to be making up that sleep.
First of all, get a dog, put sunglasses on it.
Spuds. All right. Mike, I also, at one point, I sent you a link for something. Not now, but I sent it to you on the StreamYard thing you give me. I want to play it later.
Okay.
Did you see it?
See it here.
But don't play it now.
I understand.
Okay. So I'm going to start the little slideshow I put together today. Is everybody okay with that? Are you ready?
Yes. I'm ready. I'm pretty sure they are too.
All right. I am ready to share, Michael.
All right.
We love starting with the president who's trying to make the Grand Canyon a national monument. I mean, this is very important stuff to make a hole made by aliens a national monument, because, I mean, what else is going on in the world? Oh, I don't know. People rioting because they didn't get an Xbox in Union Square. This is down the street from us, from me and Mike.
Wait, what is this for?
This was the Union Square riot from that Kai Senate who was promising everybody PlayStations.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Last week when you were out of town, there was a huge riot in Union Square because this guy tweeted that he was going to give out PlayStations, and he didn't. And everybody started, I mean, look at that cone in the air.
Yeah.
Look at the guy on the left, the guy carrying the chair. He's about to hit somebody. It was a mess. There was like thousands of people.
Well, he
And
got charged with inciting a riot. So.
But the important, yeah, he did get charged. But the important thing is that we're making the Grand Canyon a national. Oh, Jesus Christ!
So he was just trying to make like a Twitch stream or something. And
I don't know what he was trying to do. That's the thing. I can't figure it out. Catalina says there's a parade going on right outside her house right now. You know I hate that. Oh my God, Catalina, that sucks. Unless you like parades, but nobody does. This is Donald Trump, who just got indicted today, which I wish they would stop because I think it just makes him more powerful somehow. So I mean, he needs to be accountable for the elections, but it's not helping, because then his followers get real charged up, and who needs that?
Mm-hmm.
And you're an idiot. No offense. Because she said she likes parades. I take umbrage with that. The views of the chat room. Anyway, this is Donald Trump in South Carolina. One of the things, you see what he's doing. He's like looking out into the audience. You know what this reminded me of, Mike? You'll never guess this one.
I was not going to guess that one. You're right.
Hey, Otis. I know that's just for you and me and maybe two other people.
Mind if we dance with your dates?
Oh, my man Otis, he loves us.
The look at on his face right after that is like so perfect. When he was like, "Oh, I guess he doesn't know us."
Isn't that great?
It's a great movie.
You couldn't make that movie again. This was in Syria. They put out hot red peppers on a roof to dry them. And I was like freaked out by it because, I'm like, why are these red peppers on the floor? Why are they on the ground? Am I going to eat those? And but then since they were red peppers, they just had a picture recently of Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who's so old, but he's still goddamn cool. He was at Lollapalooza this week. And speaking of old rockers, look how old Devo is. I know you guys said I'm the oldest person, but no, there are older guys, and they're still wearing the costumes that they wore here back in the 80s. And Mike, that's when I stopped sharing. The only thing I know about Devo is when Catherine O'Hara was playing Brooke Shields, and she sang this song. If you could play that clip at that point now.
Okay.
The 207 mark.
There once was a young girl named Brooke who had a face.
Yeah, it's the Brooke Shields show, right?
And of course, a song or two by Brooke herself. That's the Brooke Shields show. Here on
That's it. Isn't Catherine O'Hara the goddamn best?
She is amazing.
And the best was when they showed John Candy after that he was playing Tip O'Neill.
Yeah, that's
the Speaker of the House, and that show. Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, John Candy, Joe Flaherty. They're so funny. And Rick Moranis plays Brooke Shields' mother in that sketch. It's so funny. All right, I'm going to go back to my screen sharing. I just want that's what I always remember when I think of Devo is that. Oh, I got to go back. Is that SCTV sketch? Hold on one second. I think this will work. Okay, I'm sharing again. All right. Everybody still with me?
Mm-hmm.
Especially what Catherine O'Hara's capable now. That was back then, and she was fantastic. And then, you just think of Schitt's Creek and everything that's come so far. But I love that the two of them keep working together. That Taylor Swift. I mean, it's sick what she's doing. I mean, nobody's seen the likes of this before. It's so crazy.
I think a little thing called the Beatles.
Beatles never played for 4 hours and sold out these outdoor arena. We know they played at Shea Stadium once, and but they didn't play for 4 hours and just kept touring and touring and touring. And I know what you're saying.
No, I'm just kidding around.
No, I know you are too, but it's amazing. But the worst part is she's now promoting this new quote album, and it kind of bothers me because it's just a new version of her old album.
Yeah.
And I feel like, now you're taking advantage. Taylor's version. Why wasn't the first 1989 version her version? Like, she was really popular when she put out the 1989 version or the 1989 album. So why wasn't she in charge of putting, like, why is this different? Now we know everybody's going to buy it because apparently she goes back and redoes all of her albums, which again, I don't know. It's seems a little rude to the fans.
What?
Buy it again. There's a new song on it. But I don't want to say anything that's going to make people angry about Taylor Swift. So, but still, it's a little weird, right? I mean, I can understand promoting a new album, but I don't know. What did you say, Scriptboard? So Dave's the guy at the end of Animal House, comes driving out of a float and destroys the parade. You got that right, Scrubs. My favorite part of the movie.
Your D-Day. Never to be seen again.
Yeah, this is, I don't know, some woman on the WNBA who just scored the most points in WNBA history, like 10,000 points. And you know what the thing is? Who cares? WNBA sucks.
Oh, you know why this is her version? Because that's the old version is the one Scooter Braun put out.
Is what? Oh, that
That's
guy that she was suing or something?
Yeah, those were the ones that were owned by him that he produced. So,
okay, so she wasn't in charge of her albums then. Well, then you
Right.
can make a case for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get the feeling she's also going to, this Midnight one, she's also going to come out with a Taylor's version. I think she's, shut up, Anonymous. This is the Ireland, this is Sinead O'Connor's funeral. Apparently she was still popular. I mean, who knew? Right,
Well,
Mike?
I mean, I think in Europe you remain kind of popular. Am I wrong, Scruffy?
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand. I thought she was already dead. I thought she had died many years ago. Like,
No, that was Dolores from the Cranberries.
that's right. The Cranberries. Oh, right. Of course. That's my favorite line in Clueless. Yeah, I left my Cranberry CD in the hall. Can I get a pass? No. And then, of course, he's listening to the Cranberries. Isn't that the one? Get away, get away. I don't know. That's when they're in the car and he almost
He
rapes
didn't
her.
even know.
Well, that is the Cranberries, right? I think he mentions the Cranberries, then he's playing it in the car. I think that's the gag. Because the Cranberries suck.
You think the Cranberries suck?
Don't they?
No, I mean, like
That was that horrible 90s music where it was just whiny.
no, it wasn't whiny. It was.
In fact, I think she calls it the
sad.
complaint rock of college, something like that in the movie Clueless. Wow.
Cranberries are very uplifting, I would say.
Not for me.
You didn't even know
You
the
know me.
song.
I like Huey Lewis, and that's where it ends.
Oh yeah, no, Huey Lewis is more uplifting.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
My foot hurts. Can I go to the nurse? No. Yeah, that was Elton. He always had a way to get a pass. Yeah, look at all these idiots in Russia. They're doing a paddleboarding festival, but they're all, how are they going to, what the fuck? This is stupid. There's a whole bunch of these kind of photos where everybody's just, there's too many people. Here they're dancing in the ocean in cans. I mean, that sounds like a little bit more fun, but it's like, that's just too many people. How is that fun?
That's for the photo.
And they're in Russia, so they suck anyway.
Oh, it's for Russia. What are you gonna do? Argue with the
Yeah.
dog in traffic?
Yeah. This is a surfer in Cali. This is what we expect in the ocean. You have a little privacy. Except this scene was very reminiscent of the exact same scene where that girl gets eaten in Jaws. That's why I was like, uh-oh, dude, you better watch out. That's when it goes. When you watch Jaws, she's supposed to be swimming at night. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
Mm-hmm.
She's supposed to be swimming. There's supposed to be moonlight, but they clearly filmed it like either at
Different
dawn.
day from night.
Yeah. It keeps going back to black and then a sunset. So it's a little weird. Catalina, if you like Hall & Oates, they're awesome.
Yes.
And I went to see them live, and they actually were horrible.
Really?
Yeah. Tears for Fears opened for them, and they were 10 times better. It should have been the opposite way.
How long ago was that?
It was when Tom Petty was still alive because we went to Tom Petty the night before.
Gotcha.
So whenever his last concert was at the Prudential Center is when that was.
So Maneater Live is garbage.
The what?
Maneater Live is garbage.
I don't remember song to song, but there was something wrong with the set and it just wasn't working. I actually went with Kevin Brennan.
Oh wow.
And his wife, yeah. Kevin Brennan and I used to
Our
go to
version of
concerts.
Hall & Oates.
What?
Our version of Hall & Oates.
Right. Kevin Brennan and I have been going to concerts for years. It's so funny. That's why I asked him. Like, we hadn't gone to one in a long time. I'm like, but it's funny. We used to be pretty close. I mean, we still, like each other. I might be the only one left. I don't know. Here's a bunch of jerk offs actually watching Jaws, the movie, while in tubes, like in the water. This would be the last thing I would want to do. I get the gag, but no. It's too risky that somebody's going to be a douchebag and fuck with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that the beach or is that a big pool?
I think it's in, but they have a bunch of them. I don't know. This might have been in Ohio, and because I know there was also one in Toronto, and
yeah,
they have a bunch of them that they do in the summer. I don't know where it is. It looks like it's some sort of river. It does look fun, but I wouldn't do it. Yeah, this is Merlin the Mad Ragdoll at CatCon. You knew that was going to be like some sort of cat festival because I got this one, and then of course these Sphinx cats on International Cat Day. Who, I mean, what is this? Not, I mean, is that not what's happening here? Or?
I thought they were wearing little hoodies.
They are. That's why I pointed out they look just like Grogu, like a real live Grogu.
I thought they were trying to be the Yin Yang twins.
I don't know who would want to live with these cats.
What's wrong with those cats?
Not for me. Todd Barry showed me his cat yesterday, and that's the cutest cat I've ever seen, maybe.
Oh, yeah. I think like ragdolls and Maine Coons are way cuter, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't like this photo because I thought it was a cat in a microwave, but it's actually a pet dryer.
Yeah.
At a cat club, but this just doesn't seem right. I just get the feeling there's too much that can go wrong with this. I feel bad for that cat. It's freaking me out.
It seems like it's too decadent, if anything.
I guess it looks like you're stuffing a cat in a microwave. I don't like it.
Or an air fryer at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. It freaks me out, but not to, so they can also get some. So this is the World Dog Surfing Competition that we show every year in California. And of course, there's nothing funnier than that. We have to get the dogs their due too. You can't just do a cat show. But what's funnier than this? I mean, one day I just want to go to this, like live.
Oh yeah.
But one day I just want to be like, are you guys going to the dog surfing competition this year? Yeah, I want that to be a staple for Dave Juskow. Hey, are you going to be in town for the dog surfing competition? Oh, every year. The only one I missed was during COVID. Oh yeah, and Judy's cat, Lucky. This is some guy in India. It's like an army services thing. They're performing. And I'm like, India's so backwards. You know, they're doing the Ring of Fire when this guy, Evil Knievel, that's Evil Knievel's son. I mean, come on. India, they're so back. That's it? That's all you got? Look at this guy. This is obviously in Las Vegas. That's his son. Remember, Evil Knievel. First of all, this is in 1967. He tried to jump the fountains at Caesar Palace. Everything Evil Knievel did, he failed at. It's kind of funny. No one ever talks about that.
That's right.
He didn't make this jump. And all the ones that were, like, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do this, he failed every time. It's kind of funny. And it's kind of funny that this was the most sought after toy in the history of toys. It was the greatest. I definitely had one. It looks so lame. And this is from
looks pretty cool.
That what?
It looks pretty cool because he would stay on the motorcycle and flip over and stuff.
It was so cool. It was so cool. It was like a Hot Wheels track. If you can get it through the ring of cardboard fire.
Yeah, you wound him up. He would jump over. What's that certificate for?
That's the question. I don't know. I
Maybe it
guess
was
it's
time
Evil
limit.
Knievel saying, "Hey, you can be a daredevil too." Hey, kids.
You just graduated.
It's funny
Daredevil
that kids
University.
just. You would never allowed to do this now because there would have to be like warnings, and kids would definitely emulate them. Like, it's just horrible. Meanwhile, this is him when he tried, of course, when I was a little boy, tried to jump Snake River Canyon. I remember this more than anything as a kid. This was this was so stupid because he was doing it in a rocket. What's the point if you're not on your motorcycle? And this one, first of all, I got to show you this. If you zoom in here, it's sponsored by Chuckles.
Fucker Chuckles.
What is Chuckles? I'm glad you asked. That was one of my other birthdays.
Awful Knaffle.
But I mean, what? They sponsored Evil Knievel's jump?
Awful Knaffle's the funniest thing I've heard in 10 years.
Awful Knaffle. Nice, Jules. That's good. But here's the thing. This guy, he needed to go 1,600 feet. He had never done it. And his plan was to go up this ramp and go all the way here. And as soon as he left the ramp, the parachutes came out by accident and he ended up here. The guy never got it right. It's like kind of funny. He was so crazy. I'm going to blow my nose. I'm sorry. I'm going off camera. I'm back. Nobody needs to see that live. Chuckles was the clown who died on Mary Tyler Moore. That is correct, Marcy. Chuckles the clown. What is it? A little song, a little dance, a little seltzer down your pants. And this is I don't know what they call it. They call it in England. They call it the Southern Shakedown. But what it used to be called, not a roller derby.
Demolition Derby?
Yeah, Demolition Derby. And I didn't know they had them anymore because, of course, again, let's go back to the 70s. You might remember the Malachi Crunch when the Fonz took on the Malachi brothers. One of the greatest, again, another classic Happy Days episode before they jumped the shark.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you watch it today, you're like, oh, my God, I can't believe I was so obsessed with them. This is the one, I think, with Pinky Tuscadero. And Pinky gets out of the car and she's doing it. And then the Malachis kind of kill her. It's really weird. And I think it was a two-parter. So you were like, you couldn't, was she dead? I mean, it was a very strange.
That was the cliffhanger. Like she got hit. And
yeah. You remember?
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then, these were the Malachi. See, he was hitting on Pinky, and that's how it all started.
That was the second Pinky, right? Because the first Pinky was the one that
No, there was only one Pinky, Roz Kelly.
Two different Pinky Tuscadero.
Well, then she had a sister named Leather Tuscadero.
That's what I'm thinking of. Never mind.
Yeah, and that was different because I think apparently she was a mess and hard to work with. And it's funny when you see her.
Car.
The what?
After she got hit by that car.
Yeah. It's funny, but the Malachi brother, but the guy who's playing the head Malachi, his real name is Myron, in the show.
Yeah.
He was so good. He was like, he was always doing Shakespeare quotes when he would, hit the other cars. It was, I mean, this guy seemed to get it. I'm surprised he's not more successful. That's the way you need to play a character in a Happy Days episode of a Demolition Derby, with flair and flourish and stupidity. And why, I don't know who this guy is, but why he didn't do more stuff. The guy totally got it. But when Pinky, there's the little picture of Pinky Tuscadero. That's why Fonzie had to go into and it's so funny when Richie's announcing the roller derby. It's just so stupid. I was just watching some of it today. It's just I can't believe I was so into it as a kid. It's just the Malachi Crunch. Oh no, we were bought into it. That's why anybody who wasn't alive when Happy Days was live will never understand how popular Fonzie was. Like you could never explain that to a kid today, right, Mike?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't even know if you're old enough to know.
I watched the Happy Days on syndication.
Exactly, in syndication. But when it was the hottest show on television, you know, it just the funds was just, you can't explain it to people. It's just because it's just, if you watch it now, you show it to kids, you're like, wait, this guy? It's, uh, here's a guy sleeping in a stadium in India where they play cricket. And I'm like, that's a pretty good idea because, all you see of pictures in India is it's so crowded, like in that stupid paddleboard thing in Russia, right? So I'm like, that's a good place to play. But it's like, this is why we don't live in India. This is what makes America so great. These are our stadiums. India. Why would you move there?
Well, what's the rest of it look like?
I don't know. Who cares? Look how beautiful that stadium is.
So you just look at the inside, and it's probably
Well, we know the inside's great. Taylor Swift just played there yesterday. I mean, it's I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I thought about showing the inside, and it didn't look as good. They don't have the round.
Outside?
What?
Is that the inside or outside?
Of SoFi?
No, of the Indian one.
Oh, this is the inside.
Oh, those are the seats.
Yeah, those are the seats.
Wow.
Because SoFi
That's like
has
a bring your own
individual
chair,
seats,
fit like a million people to watch one soccer game situation there, isn't it?
right? And here they just have what fits in there, about 70,000. They just had the Super Bowl there, I think, last year.
Yeah. No, it's different things. Wherever Taylor Swift plays in India, probably looks nicer than SoFi.
You think Taylor Swift's going to play in India?
It's probably playing somewhere over there. There's rich people there too.
I don't know whether she's done. Has she done a world? Is she going further? Like, I know she was doing the Big American. Is she going to go around the world with this? I mean, how much longer can she go? I mean, I know she's young, but I mean, she's really got to be in incredible shape for this. 4 hours a day using her voice like that and running around and changing outfits. She plays in rain or shine. I got sick just partying for 4 days for my birthday. So impressed. Yeah, and finally, this is my favorite time of the year, where they just have those large rubber. Apparently, this is the largest in the world. It's in Maryland. I still don't understand what they're supposed to represent, but I love a good rubber duck story. And on that note,
Taylor Swift's not in India; she's everywhere else. So.
Yeah, I can't imagine she would go to India. It just doesn't make any sense for some reason. I don't. It just seems like it's, first of all, too hot. People probably can't afford the tickets.
Well, the people who could afford them would afford them. I think it's more to do with being a woman in certain countries.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say, and I wasn't sure if it was that way in India. That's why, I get upset when like Rachel plays those Arabic countries. I'm like, you keep talking about women's rights and women, and then you go to these countries where women are treated like pieces of shit. So I get upset by yeah.
This was my favorite one. There's a dog. Are they gonna crash? No, they're not gonna crash.
Oh, he jumped right on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Can you believe that dogs are good? Like, I can't even do that. So embarrassing. If Latin American can afford tickets, India can, Catalina says, because Catalina always says she's in a third world country. But I think Catalina's in a second world country.
I don't think that's a thing.
I know. I just don't think where she is a third world country.
Well, isn't it? Because it's third world, isn't it? Third world is the countries that weren't involved in the Cold War.
Oh, I don't know. I always wondered what it meant. I just thought it meant poor people. There's one other thing I want to talk about because we got to go. Mike's got a set tonight. He's opening for Bobby Kelly at the Cellar. Bobby's doing an hour, and Mike's going to open for him. So if you are indeed around, it could be at the Comedy Cellar in the West Village in 10 minutes. You will see Mike performing. I don't know whether you heard Mike, but the guy, one of my favorite movies is The Blind Side.
Oh, yeah.
You heard about this today?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that movie like 50 times. And now the guy who it's made of, called Michael Orr, the football player, has now said he's just like pissed at his adopted parents. Said they didn't really adopt him. They just used him and they made all this money and he got nothing. And I don't know where this is coming from. Everybody's confused for two reasons. one, first of all, this makes the movie sad because then you're like, but none of this. But first of all, the parents in the movie were rich.
Yeah.
Before the movie. So the movie made $300 million, and I guess they must have gotten some money, but he must have gotten something. And just now he's complaining because he's not playing football anymore. I guess he's getting a little nervous. I've seen The Blind Side 50 times. It's such a good movie.
Yeah. Well, if he
so,
wasn't under that kind of conservatorship, I mean, he may not. I mean, that's what happened.
Well, that's the thing. It's like they didn't adopt him, but they just sometimes they use movie, you making a movie, it's just easier to say we're going to adopt you, but it turned out he was already 18, so they just gave him a conservatorship. But it's really sad that because he's like watching them go on private jets and do all this stuff, and I'm like, but they had all this money, they owned all those KFCs and Taco Bells. It's
right
in
they
the
did make
movie.
A lot of money
that
from
part is true.
The story. So
that what?
I think his problem is that they made more money off of his story than he did.
I guess, but like he's not
Saying
keeping in touch with them now or something. I don't know what's really happening. But here's the other problem, Mike. This is really fucked up. I mean, Sandra Bullock has to hate this movie now. She has to hate this movie. She won an Oscar for this movie, and she was terrific.
Mm-hmm.
But if you remember correctly, and a lot of people forget, she was, as she was getting the award, her husband at the time was cheating on her.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
And so it tainted her good time at the Oscars, and you felt really bad for her. And
wasn't he cheating on her with like a Nazi stripper?
Yeah, exactly. It was something really bad. Like, and I think in everybody's minds, he's actually inside the woman as she's getting the award, watching it on TV. Like that's why it was like that bad.
Jeez.
And here's the worst part: is this all comes out now, like today or yesterday. And her husband now just died.
Oh no!
Yeah, and
so she's available.
Or boyfriend. What?
So she's available.
Yes, she is available, but she just died. She's really upset about it, and then this comes out. So she's like, she must be like, this fucking Blindside. It's like what the fuck? Every time it's brought up, something bad happens to me. It's kind of funny. It's like she must hate The Blind Side by now. She must just never want to do it. It's like it's cursed for her.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Yeah, that movie's her bad luck charm. Exactly, Marcy. Yeah, isn't that horrible? And that's such a good movie. She's so good in it. And of course,
that movie's her bad luck charm, and she made Speed 2.
That's right. She made Speed 2. But you also you say you broke the spell. She also made Practical Magic. And that
which is a great movie. Yes.
Yeah. All right. We have to go because Mike has to go across the street. It was nice to see everybody today. I'm sorry I'm under the weather. Next week, I have every intention of being in the studio with a guest of our choice. I'm just so excited to be in the studio. And then, I'll be taking a week off. Mike will still be here with somebody. And then we'll probably be remote again until Mike comes back to town. This is awful. I hate being remote so many times. That's not your fault. Anyway, I don't think I have anything coming up. I know on Billy Joel we have our Stormfront wrap up. And Mike, what do you have tonight? And then what else is going on?
Oh, follow me at Mike V. Suarez and keep listening to Retrospective Promenade.
What movie do you have on this week?
The last episode that came out was Romancing the Stone. I can't remember the next episode.
Oh, I love Romancing the Stone. Boy, that was a really interesting movie. Everybody thought that was a big Raiders of the Lost Ark ripoff, which it was, and then it turned out to be really enjoyable, right?
It was great. It made Danny DeVito a big-time movie star.
Yeah, and then the three of them, Kathleen Turner, Michael Douglas, Danny DeVito, made 3 movies after that, so they seem to have a good time making it. So, yes, that's it for this week. And
real quick, we mean Stormfront, the Billy Joel song, right?
Actually, I meant Stormfront, the album. It's both
album,
a song and an album.
Right. We do have to say Stormfront's also a couple of other things.
Like what?
Oh, I don't want to say what they are right here. But just let them know that we mean the Billy Joel album.
Yes, I mean the Billy Joel album. So yes. Okay, so Leningrad, I go to extremes, didn't start the fire, so it goes. Those are they're all right. It's not that great an album. But we talked for like 2 hours and yipes. But Paul Lauren plays on it, and he's terrific. And I saw him last night, which was a joy. All
Good.
right, Mike. Everybody, we'll see you next week on the Comedy Cellar Night.